Hi, I'm Jeff Bellomo with Bellomo and Associates, and I am doing this video because you have been told or informed by our law firm that we do not believe at this point in time that you are going to need to probate the estate of your loved one. Now, probate is the process in Pennsylvania by which we carry out the wishes of an individual who passes away, having assets in their name alone at the time of their death and not having beneficiary designations on the account where it would transfer automatically to them. So, since you're getting this video, what I assume that means is that our law firm has decided, based upon the information that we have, we do not believe at this point in time that you need to probate the estate of your loved one. That's probably because the accounts were jointly owned or because there were beneficiary designations on the accounts and the assets were transferring automatically to a loved one. Now, just a reminder, if an asset is transferred to somebody directly, such as a joint owned account or an account that has a transfer on death or payable on death or in trust for designation, that doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be inheritance tax. Probate is just a process by which we carry out the wishes of a loved one. They go down to the courthouse, they raise their right hand, and they take an oath. And then they step in the shoes of the testator or the person who passed away. Just because we avoid that process by having the assets transfer automatically to an individual doesn't mean that there still won't be inheritance tax. The inheritance tax really applies to all assets that transfer in the state of Pennsylvania, but not life insurance. But pretty much everything else, Pennsylvania is going to get their share. So even if you receive the money automatically upon death, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get a love letter from the Department of Revenue within 6 to 8 months saying that you owe inheritance tax. So please keep some of that money safe and available if and when you're going to owe the inheritance tax. Again, all you're avoiding is the process of probate, which is where you go down to the courthouse or on Zoom nowadays to open up the estate. But that doesn't mean that there aren't still going to be inheritance taxes owed. All right, one other common thing that often comes up is that there may be one asset in a person's name alone, and maybe it's a bank account, and it's less than $10,000. There is a statute in Pennsylvania that we can provide to you that says that you can go to the bank, show them a copy of the funeral bill, and they will distribute the check without having you to go through the formal probate process. Again, you're going to be able to take that without having to go through the formalities of probate to close the account to be able to get the money out. Just a quick reminder, if the loved one was in a nursing home and receiving Medicaid at the time of their death, the state of Pennsylvania will have a right to get recovery if the amount was more than $2,400. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that as well in case later you're going to get a notification from the state saying that you owe some money back if the individual who passed away was receiving benefits. Another common thing that comes up is a vehicle. If the only asset that the person had is a vehicle, you will be able to go to a Department of Motor Vehicles organization that does the transfer title, such as AAA or Runkle or any of those types of services locally, and they will be able to transfer the vehicle to the loved one who it would go to under the last will and testament and under law. You wouldn't have to go through the formal probate process if the only asset is a vehicle. So those are the typical things that end up avoiding the probate process, and it's probably the reason why you were told that you don't have to go through the formal probate process. If something comes up that you're not able to get access to it, or you're not able to get into it or be able to transfer it or do what you need to do with it, that probably means that that's an asset that is in probate or should be in probate because it was in the person's name alone at the time of their death. And it may not be known yet, and it may come up in the future. If that happens, give us a call. We would be more than happy to open the estate and assist you. But as always, what I want to remind you of is the most important thing to do now is to take time with your family and grieve. that this process is not an emergency. It is not something that has to happen tomorrow. The first thing is to take care of your family and be with your family at this difficult time. If you do have to go through probate, we will certainly be there to assist you. And if you don't, we hope that the tips in here helped you a little bit. It is important to contact your funeral home that your family wants to work with and making sure that those wishes are taken care of, and understanding that that is certainly an important aspect of what's going to be occurring, and taking a look at the loved one's paperwork to see what they have, and notify their employer as well as any clergy who you would like to take and to assist with that process. We wish you nothing but the best. We're very sorry for your loss, and we hope this video helped in showing you what it means to not have to go through probate, but that you still have to be aware that there could be inheritance taxes that will be coming your way that you'll be responsible for if you receive the money outright. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next time.